Now, let me just give some outline about the operation and all, operation of this particular purpose of this particular application. In this application, my idea is when anyone clicks on load data, and if anyone goes and clicks on next, what happens, each and every record should be filled here in the column. If I just click on one more next, say, the next record will be coming over here, and then if I just keep on clicking on next, it just reaches, when it reaches the end point, then it has to give a data saying like no more data available. And when we just click on previous, so it has to get the previous data, and the more we click on previous, and then it reaches a point of 0th record, then immediately if we still click on previous, then it says like no more data available. So this is what the total flow. And in that respect, load is one button beginning. Load in the sense, there is a form load, of course. In the form load we have written already some code about how to connect to database and how to open the database connectivity. So whereas in something like in load data, so whereas in load data button, so just click on F4, then you'll and then come to the properties. It's a button load is there already. So this button load, btn load, is the name of the button. So double click on this button load and do all your pre-activities here in the button load. In the sense, before you click on next, whatever activity you want, you can do it in the load. In the sense, what activity we want. First of all, we want to use one for a while. This button is not useful as of now, so I can remove the event handler here, and I can come to the load data event handler. Now here in the load button, event handler, connection is right open and it is made ready. So we have to start working with the rest of the things. Example, I want to create an SQL data adapter. Object DA is equal to new SQL data adapter of open and close, whereas this object requires a query. So we know that query is something like yeah, you can put, yeah, sure, we can put it. So but query changes, query should be assigned, no? That is the trouble we had. Fine, but we can't able to assign any queue to it and con to it. Again we have to take da dot, so command text and all. If we find anything like that, so we can do like connection and all. Now as the constructor is expecting those values, so outside if I just write, I won't be having what is q and what is con certain times. So that's the reason we have written this button click. And second thing is DA is right pointing, DA is something data adapter. So DA is having a nature of filling a data table. So we may need a data table to be created. So we can create it. Yeah, we can create Pina. Conduct open is done. No, it is not. No. So we can open. The adapter nature is, even though connection got closed, after you open, it will read once, and after it has read it, if you close the connection, still it will retain the data. That is the nature of adapter. Reader nature is not like that. If you open and communicate with the database and get the data, the moment you close the connection, the data also will be gone. You closed the connection but not data reader, but data reader will lose its data reference and all. But whereas adapter is not like that. When connection is open only, both these topics are will work only when the connection is open. They can read the data only when the connection is open. But after they read, what they have to store, they have to retain it for some time. When the connection is lost, so adapter can retain the data, whereas data reader can't retain the data. That is only the simple equation. So here query is there. So data table, I just want to create a data table and I want to work with the data set in this same topic, so that even we should have some knowledge on what is data set. Data set, it is something that can have more than one tabular of information. So but in this case, let me start with only one table initially. So what I do is dt is there, dt dot data adapter dot fill of data adapter dot fill of data adapter is filling dt. Now dt is been filled with the data that what data adapter is pointing to. Now this is a work that what we have done, and now with this knowledge, if anyone clicks on next, what should happen? That means these text boxes, 4 text boxes, should be filled with some data. So what is the data? So that's our next job. 4 text boxes are what we had. Text attribute of the text boxes should be filled with what? Should be filled with the data table information. But actually, as we need to demonstrate something on dataset as well, I'm saying like dataset can carry more than one table. So what I am doing, dataset dot tables dot add. I'm adding a table. If you can see the overloaded functions, it can accept a data table object as an argument, which will be added to the dataset. A dataset can have more than one table. Then I have added one table as of now. So in future I may add more than one table. Okay, as of now it has only one table. So dataset holds a data table. Data table holds a collection of records. Every record will have collection of column data. This is all pattern we had. So data set is a means through which I can able to represent multiple tables within it. As of now only one table it is pointing to. Now what I am saying is data set dot tables dot not tables, tables of. So you can give now how many tables we have added. Only one table object we have added. So tables of 0 dot how many rows it is having. Lot many rows it may have, but I want to choose row 0 initially. And what is the column I want to choose from that? Column 0 dot toString. Now if you examine what is happening, in a data set there is a table, there are rows. In that row, first element of the row, if I just continue myself, second element, third element and fourth element. So where is the change? Second, third and fourth text boxes are been filled with second element, third element and fourth element. Now just see. So now data table is carrying some data basically. Now the data that what the data table is having, so that thing what I am doing, I am assigning to a data set. Now through the data set I am taking, there might be more than one tables in a data set. I am choosing the first table. If I want to choose the second table, then I may need to go with the table of 1. If I need to choose third table, table of 3, like that it is having its indexes. Okay, so I am choosing an index of 0 says like it's the first table. Of course only one table is there in our example. First table, row 0 and column elements 1, 2, 3, 4 should be filled. But what about if anyone clicks on one more next? One more next means immediately row value should change to 1. One more next, row value should change to 2. Like how long it will change? First of all, it should change is one thing that what we had. How can it change? How can we make that changes? If I create an integer variable, by default integer variable is 0, as it is a member of a class, member of a partial class, and if any object of that class got created, then obviously it is 0, or you initiate with 0. Now what I am saying is, whenever we are fetching, we'll take count into the consideration and we'll fetch. That will be good, or else if you give it as -1, first count will be incremented, then data will be read. So -1 incremented is 0. That means 0th record will come. Next time anyone clicks on next, 0 plus plus 1. That means row 1 is row 1, 4 elements are brought. Again after one more click of next, immediately count will be 2. Then immediately row 2 of 0, 1, 2, 3. 4 elements of row 2 are been retrieved. Like that it just goes up. But there should be end. One end should be there. So how long I should proceed is one more thing that what we should so carefully observe. So I can simply say that when the count, how long I can keep on going, where is the limit for this? Then the count is less than, when the count is less than dataset dot tables of 0 dot rows dot count. Number of rows you had in the table, count that what we have in your hand, is that count is lesser than that, total number of records you are having in the table are 7 suppose. Dataset dot tables of 0 dot rows dot count is equal to 7. Initially count value is 0. Is that 0 is less than 7? Exactly. First record read. Then second, for second record 1 is less than 7, it is read. Third record 2 is less than 7, it is read. It is true, it is read. And then 3 is less than 7, 4 is less than 7, 5 less than 7, 6 less than 7. Till this it is okay. But when it crosses that and when it enters into 7, immediately 7 is not less than 7, then immediately it has to enter into one else situation. So that is where we were today. Else, what is the case? That means it is crossing its availability. Else, I'm sorry. Message box dot show off no more data. Okay, so now this is one area got completed. Let us check it whether it will work practically good or not till this point. Then we'll write previous logic. Okay, we click on, I'm sorry, we didn't put any button in the home form, so let us create one button in the home form. So let us drag and drop one button here, F4, and you can put, our focus is on data set and with the DA. So data set in DA demo. Okay, now if anyone double clicks on this, so I'm sorry, so home form dot so and so F4, double click on this and you are having some form data set, some name we had now before, dataset underscore DA dot underscore demo. That's the name. What is the name of our form? Dataset underscore, yeah, dataset underscore. So immediately our window came. So in the window I just clicked on load data. It has load the data, then I'm clicking next. Then we got first record, one more next, second record, one more next, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Still this is fine. When I click on one more time, then it's saying like no more data available. That means it's good. Till this point it's good. What about previous? Previous is not working. So we should write some logic for the previous as well. So what happened, when anyone clicks on the load, first it will dump the data into data adapter. Even if you Now after dumping the things, even if I mean to say, like if connection got closed also, I was not worried. That's a benefit of data adapter. So if after loading, okay, that means connection closed, but still you are getting the data. When you click on load line, ending of load is closing of connection, gone. Even though we are in a situation to fetch the records of a thing, because adapter will maintain the data in its clone copy will be maintained within itself. But we have almost done next related thing. If anyone clicks on the next, what should happen? Same code, if you carefully observe, same thing we should write for previous as well. So what a previous says, previous means whenever we click on previous, count should be reduced down. So count should be reduced down, point number one. Whatever might be the count, you reduce the count. Suppose example, just before I have fetched first record, count will be 0. 0, 0, 0 minus minus in the sense minus 1. Is that minus 1, or you can take anything like what are the positive numbers? It means till the 7th record I should be in a situation to get the data. 7th record means index is count is equal to 6th for that. So what I'm saying 6th, what is the first count? It is something like 1. 1 means 1 minus minus in the sense 0. 0th record is there. That means from count is equal to 1 to the count is equal to 7, it's okay. From count is equal to 1 and it is, I can say it is to the 7. If the count is greater than 1 to 7, in the sense if count is greater than 1, it's good. It's manageable. Even you can say 0 also, of course. Why? Because after deduction only we are checking it now. So if the count is greater than 1 only, I'm sorry, count is greater than 1, and this is 0 never comes into the picture. Is 0 is greater than 1? No. So that is where minus minus means 0. Is that 0 is greater than, yeah, it's correct. Even greater than or equal to 0 is good. Why? Because when it has fetched second record, count will be 1. So 1 minus minus in the sense 0. Is that 0 is greater than or equal to 0? Yes, of course. Then fine, you can proceed. So if it is again, when anyone clicks on previous, count minus minus means 0 minus minus, which is minus 1. Is that minus 1 is greater than or equal to 0 means sorry. Then it says like no more data available. So this is correct. This looks good. Now control F5 and let us just check it. So come to the DS, first click on load. After clicking load, you can put a pop-up message saying like data loaded into the data adapter. You can say like that, and it's up to you. So if I click on next, I got a record 1012, 1013. Now I want to click on previous 1012, 1011. If I click on one more time previous, then it says like no more data. But if I click on next again, next, there is a point where again it is saying like no data. Now just click on previous, gone. Okay, it's working. But there is small loophole is there, small issue is there if you examine carefully. So try to solve this issue by yourself. Okay, I'll educate where is the issue. You say the moment you click on load, of course when you load, it's good to put one message here, the message box. When load got completed, load not load, yeah, you can put if you click on DS and so when you click on load, data load successfully. This is what. Then you click on next, and if I just keep on going to the end, suppose there is a flaw here, 1017. One more time if you click next, no data found. It's good still now. One more time you click, no data found. It's working. But if you just click now next previous, only for one time. If you click on previous, one click. Now there is no position at 7, you see. One more time click. So that means a fine adjustment, some adjustments are there, and then one more, just click on it, and one more time load. Okay, loaded, and say 1 2 3. Here is the fourth record. Now click on the previous at fourth record. 3 came perfectly. One more time, 2 came perfectly. One more time. That means when you are in the middle, it's working fine. Example, if you are at the fifth, sixth record, you want a previous record, click on previous. 1015 is coming. Click on previous. 1014 is coming. It's working good. But when you are exactly at the peak seventh record, even when you click on the previous also it works good. Sixth record came. But if you cross the seventh record, no more data. At a point of no more data, when you just click on previous, okay, so no more record, so 1017 is coming, then 1016, then 10. So whenever you are going to no more data, whenever it says no more data, immediately you have to clear the text boxes. Am I correct or not? Or else what happens, 17th record is still available. We may have a conclusion like we are at the 7th record. No, we already entered into 8th position where data is not there. That's the reason when you click on previous, 7th record came, but we are unable to understand that 7th is generated. So small defects. When you just reach the point of this one, then you have to nullify the data. Okay. For that reason, you can write one function. Not only at this point, here also when you reach to the previous, there also the trouble comes. So when you come to the end of load the data load successfully, next, and previous 1011, then previous, the no data available. At this point of time, if I click on next, I am getting the same first record only. I am getting data, but I am not feeling that I got the data. So reason is, whenever I cross the record, I have to give, it's my duty to give some kind of empty fields. So but where I didn't try, so put empty fields once after you reach a point of end. But what I do is I am writing a function by myself additionally, public void clear. If anyone clicks on clear, what happens, all the text boxes will be cleared. Suppose that means this is the part. No, to clear the text boxes deal means this one only. So what I am saying is clear all the text boxes. I'm sorry. So how can I clear means just simply double quotes. Now double click, just control F5. When you click on this data reader, now read it, you got data, next, and when you just cross to 17, okay, then immediately, oh, 17, okay, clear, we didn't call clear, I'm sorry, we have written clear, but the moment it reached no data, so clear should be operated. Even then at the point where you had no data at next also, we should use the same function. Clear this one and then say next. Oh, I'm sorry. So we didn't load. So click on load data and click on next. At a point of time at 7, no data, click on, then it should have to clear. When it clears only, when you click on previous, then we can see that data got generated perfectly. So when it is already showing the 7th record, I can't show. Re-showing the same 7th record means it doesn't look good. Now I am experiencing perfectly. When I click on previous, I found like 7th record came, 6th record came, and like they keep on going to the no more data. Now it got cleared, then I am clicking next. I had a feel that it has generated the first record. That field we gone before, we generated that field back. Okay. And at what record we were there. Actually these are all serial order, no? All this data is in a very systematic way, but certain times all the data may not be in systematic way. We can put some numbering at the top, like in what record we were. We can put a number, 7th record, 6th record, and we can put a number here. So all the time we can't expect that table should have an sorted data or something like that. So it is better to click, like whenever there is a click on next, whenever there is a click to the next, then you should represent what is the record it is going to fetch. So simple, there is a text box available, row text box, row dot text is been assigned with row dot text is been assigned with empty text with count. The same job we could also do when we are right here. So in next and previous, the same job. Now just see, when I just click simply next, I'm sorry, so control F5 and load, successfully loaded, and next, you see I just went to 7th record, that is a 6th, index is 6, of course I'll correct it. Okay, so I'm sorry, here we are printing only index, no, for that reason we can increase the count of the, now it will be good. So obviously at the top also, when we had the same line, so it will show you the status where exactly we were standing. So but actually luckily we had a data of all sorted data, so there won't be any big issue here. But in practical scenarios we may need some numbering of at what record we were. So load data. Okay, so load data, I'm sorry, so click on load data and then okay, successfully done. Say next. Now you are the first record, come to the 2 3 4 5 6 7, it's good, it's showing perfectly. When you just come back 6th record, come back 5th record, 2 1, and you are the first record, then click on previous, it is 0th record, no, exactly pointing to the exact 0th record, no more data available, that's it. So that's how the importance of numbering for a record. Okay, and sometimes I'm in need of if I enter something like 5 here, and if I click on read here, you're having a button read, no, can you see here, if I enter 5 and read, immediately down I should get the 5th record. I have to jump into the 5th record. Okay, let us write such a kind of code now. So what I do is, for that code to write, I'm doing some small customization. You see, this is the code, you can have a code this one, and can't I find like similar code here, same code, no, bottom and top, same code. Whenever you are having a same code, why couldn't you write in a separate function? So for that reason I'm copying it, and I just want to write like clear, like what we had, like clear. So you write in a separate function and call it for twice, so more than once. If you want to invoke a code, it is better to write it in a separate thing, populate, and you can write that code in here now. But populate requires one variable, that is what count. When count is there, it can read the data of that corresponding thing. Now come back. Now when you had a good thing like that, better use populate only. So when populate is working good, use populate. But populate requires what? Count, your count variable. Then it works. In a single line you can do it. Now here also, instead of writing this many lines, if it is 4 columns, fine. If a registration form is there, registration form will have 25 lines. So 25 lines, instead of maintaining 25 lines twice and thrice, it is better to write in a single line. That's enough. I'm sorry, not here. So here we should replace the same code with populate of CNT. So now that is one correction that what I made, and now let us check whether it is working or not. So just optimization. Now what I have done is just optimization, so no more thing, and like next first record, next second record, third record, fourth record, it's going like as before, it's working good. And even when you just fetch the previous record, previous, it's also good. So that means we have done a bit optimization. But what is the benefit of doing this optimization means, now my fulfillment will be done. If I click on read, when I'll click on read, I'll enter some number and I'll click on read, then it has to jump to the corresponding record. So simple. When I click on read, now what is the name of this function button? btn read. Double click on the read. So what it should do, it should read, fetch the data on a specified row. So that's good. So where is that row number? It's there in the text box. I'll enter in the text box. Okay, good. I'll take a text box dot text where what is the text box? Text box name is txt row dot text. Whatever user enters in that, I'll take it into a integer variable where its number, its name is count. So how can you take a string to an integer? You have to convert it. Okay, then let us do conversion. Convert dot to int 32 open parenthesis delete and close parenthesis. Now at this point of thing, count is right available. This count that what I'm having, I'm sending this count to populate. You know already populate is equipped with, if you have a count and if you send the count, it is going to generate the um, corresponding row. But what actually I'm doing, I'm doing whatever number he enters, number minus 1 I'm sending, because index is different. Index will be 1 less than the actual number. Now when I'm doing a traversal of, I'm sorry, control F5. So read, first load, and load successfully done, then keep on using next. You are at third record. Now you felt of moving it into sixth record, sixth, and read. You jumped yourself to directly to 6. So that is where we were, and I want an previous record than this. So you are at the third record before, no? So it is coming as usual, your count is moving in the right way. Okay, so next, seventh, next. Okay, then fine. So like that. So like that, whenever we are seeing this application, we can have an thing like we are dealing with these situations. Load the data, traverse from forward direction, backward direction, and notify the data properly. When there is no data, you please nullify that total format, whatever form is there, please clear the entry form, retrieval form, and numbering it is going to show. If you don't like, if you want to give an entry, you want to enter a number by yourself and do the things, please enter that, it will generate. So simple. So actually two activities we have used this text box. So that is what when you are traversing through the things, then it is showing the things. No, for instead I have in the for the batch I have showed here row 0 instead of row 0, here row 4. If I click on here row 5, like that, here it should come. Actually at the time when I'm training them, I have written a code like that. Even for you also you can write, it's up to you. So it's not a particular plan, don't maintain always a fixed plans or something like that. You can take any thing of your own. What I have done is, when anyone clicks on next, what should happen means there is a button is available, button at the top. I don't know, button read here. Button read, it's not read, I think so. This is row, button row. So button row. Code optimization, it's up to you. So you want to make it like a presentation, code presentation, you can do whatever way you feel good, you just do it. I was not worried. So present, but operational nature should be the same. Whatever I plan here, you should get the same thing. So control F5 and click on dataset. Now just see, when I'm clicking next, you see quit, I'm sorry, control F5. So read, load the data, click on next. At the top you will find the row number, but here it is here is the entry. Like I want to jump myself to the second row to read, I want to enter to the fifth read, I want to enter to the seventh read, like that. Okay, this is for row representation, this is for retrieval. That is up to you, and you are having some limitation as well. If I enter something like 10, you can't find a record, no? So 10 and click on read, then you are getting some exception. Instead you say there is no data of that. So for that you please say like no data. So how can you say? So simple. When anyone enters, and if you find that really that number should be whatever user has entered, you got it to the count, that number always should be greater than or equal to 1, and that count should be less than or equal to dataset dot tables of 0, zeroth table dot rows dot row count. How many rows you are having, that many count only, that much only I can give. Either to 1 to 7 I can give any number, it works good. But if you give other than that, so it can't sustain, because there is no record at all with that nature. What about if you have given a wrong value? So quite simple, a message box we can put saying like no data, no data available. So customize the code in the way you want, and like I just want to load the data first and just keep on going next and keep on going previous, it's good. But when I just go with something like fourth record, I can jump. I'm sorry, when I just want fourth record read, fourth record I jumped. When I just went to the seventh I went. When I went something to the 10th record read, then it's saying like no data available. So that is where it should come. When I just enter something like in the negative portions like negative -2 read, even no data available at this point. So that should be the our need. Okay, so like that, prepare, just have a look on this code. Now I'm going to send this code to you. Just please have a look on this code, and so within 5 minutes I'll resume back and we'll continue the next topic.